Welcome back to Explain America. This is your host, Kyle Becker. Well, Donald Trump is issuing pardons, and one of them that just hit his desk and he signed on to, it is causing the left's minds to explode. And before we get into the story, please like, share, and comment at Explain America. Join us. We appreciate your support for common sense journalism. Well, of course, the left-wing media, they didn't really want to talk about Joe Biden's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pardons that he issued, kind of, at least they were written in his name by AutoPen, as he exited the administration. That's right, Hunter Biden got a pardon, Fauci got a preemptive pardon, Schiff and Cheney, they got preemptive pardons. Well, they're probably not as good as the AutoPen ink that was spilled on them, but, you know, we got to see if that holds up in court for another day. But in this case, we're talking about a Republican that was actually removed from office because, well, they engaged in some corrupt activities and they were called out. Of course, corruption is a way of life for Democrats, so a lot of people weren't very happy about it. But we're talking about former New York Congressman George Santos, and Trump ordered his release from a federal facility on Friday. And Trump said, as a justification, quote, George has been in solitary confinement for long stretches of time and by all accounts has been horribly mistreated, unquote. And he added, quote, therefore I just signed a commutation releasing George Santos from prison immediately. Good luck, George. Have a great life, unquote. Well, the president cited the former New York lawmaker's political support in the announcement, saying Santos has the, quote, courage, conviction, and intelligence to always vote Republican. And he also said George Santos was somewhat of a rogue, but there are many rogues throughout our country that aren't forced to serve 7 years in prison, unquote. And that's really the point, because if you look across the board of Democrats who mysteriously get filthy rich in office, Nancy Pelosi, we're looking at you, and that ranges from Ilhan Omar to Jasmine Crockett and the rest of them. Well, none of them have been even indicted or convicted or sent to prison for any time whatsoever for this mysterious accumulation of massive wealth while being public servants. So federal prosecutors in New York say about the Santos case that he is guilty of filing false financial reports to the Federal Election Commission. He inflated his fundraising numbers, they said, and he allegedly collected over $24,000 in unemployment insurance benefits. And, his treasurer, Marks, has pleaded guilty to the charges. And a previous indictment in May against Santos charged him with embezzling money from his campaign and lying to Congress about his income. He had previously pleaded not guilty to those charges, and confessed his innocence for months, and he was scheduled to go on trial in September. So, Santos, I think the reason for this pardon was just the disparity of justice between the Democrats and the Republicans, the two-tier system of justice. Santos did wind up being incarcerated, and he is now free. And I think that it's just simply the two-tier system of justice that is really the big problem here. Santos, I think, is a rogue. He is a colorful character. And, that doesn't excuse any corruption that might have been proven in a court of law. So, weigh in with your own thoughts. What do you think about Trump pardoning Santos and others who are Republicans? Do you think this is balancing the scales of justice, or do you think it's injustice, or do you think there should be justice against Democrats who are corrupt? I lean towards the latter. Let's have equal justice under the law for everyone. But weigh in with your own thoughts. We always appreciate hearing from you at Explain America.